All right, so today on the program, I said we're building the resilient surveyor and we're integrating some legacy practices with innovation and corporate excellence. So let me bring in my guest today program, Surveyor Adams Olugbenga Benjamin. He's not a stranger to this microphone. The microphone knows him so well. He's a member Nigerian Institution of Surveying. He's also a member of the Association of Private Practicing Surveyors of Nigeria, the National Publicity Secretary of that particular body. And right here in Lagos, he is the Vice Chairman. So, Oyekpo, as they say. All right, Surveyor Adams, it's nice to have you in the building. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Victor. Good morning, Lagos.
All right, then. Surveyor Engineer Sheyi Makpaderun is here. He's also a member, Nigerian Institution of Surveying, and member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Surveyor Makpaderun, nice to have you in the building. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're making your first entry on the program, right?
Yeah.
All right.
You.
What do you make of our studios? By the way, look to your left, you see the cameras?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's the technology is amazing.
It's in line with surveying.
Yeah. They are catching up with us.
Right. Because if I say anything now, Adams will tell me without surveyors, that camera wouldn't have come alive, right?
Yeah.
You know that for sure.
Okay, so let's jump into the program and draw base with legacy projects. So how can surveyors really balance traditional practices with modern innovations and the technologies that will make those projects legacy? Let's start with Surveyor Adams.
Okay, good morning. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Victor. Well, before I go into the question proper,
yes.
I'm here to do more of listening.
Okay.
And to answer questions based on listeners'
contributions.
But because I want to give engineer Surveyor Sheyi Makpaderun a lot of time to
dwell on all of this.
Yes, let me inform us that he's a member of NIS and APPSN in Rivers State.
Wow.
He happens to be our keynote speaker at the just concluded workshop that we had, that the team is building the resilience of yours, integrating legacy practice with innovation and corporate excellence.
Right.
So we brought him all the way from Port Harcourt.
Wow.
So because of this program, we just have to allow him to delay his flight.
All right, which will be very good. So we'll be hearing him.
Yes.
He will talk about that. But I just like you to also still add your voice. So how do you balance traditional practices?
Yes, for every surveyor, when I mean surveyor, I mean registered surveyors. Survey principles and method are the same thing. The way you do survey, irrespective of the modern technology that we have now, the principle is still the same thing. And we're trying to arrive at the same accuracy and precision. So irrespective of the modern technology, the kind of instrument that we use, there are basic principles you must follow. One of them is working from whole to part, which has to do with the way survey was being done in the past, the way we do it now, and irrespective of the technology that will still come, we still have to follow that principle.
All right.
But take it or we leave it. The more we have better technology, the more it enhances our job, it makes it easier, and we get better delivery. Let's
talk about this particular topic right now. And Surveyor Makpaderun, I hear you are the expert here. So how do we build the kind of resilience? How do you build that resilience in that surveyor that will be able to integrate legacy projects? Talk to me.
Okay. Resilience is character. It's bouncing back, moving forward, as well as adapting to change quickly and swiftly, without leaving anything to chance or leaving anything behind. I think surveyors are naturally built for resilience. Our forefathers, they climbed hills, they climbed mountains, and before, people thought surveying was a very hectic job. Okay. Very hard to do. But because we have modern technologies and we have adopted them, it has made everything easier. But by and large, the facts that the resilience in a surveyor still remains. We are a very resilient people. A surveyor is a very adaptable individual and is ready to learn, because what we do is learn immediately. We learn faster than most other professions because we walk in the bush, we get to the site ahead of everybody, and then so we have nothing other than resilience. Resilience is our key. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let's take that now and still explore that to another level. So we're talking resilience. You'll be able to let us know that surveyors are very, very resilient. But let's talk about integrating legacy practices with innovation and corporate excellence.
So it's a bit of a challenge that we have legacy practices that we have a bit neglected, and we have sort of like left our jobs for other professionals. We have geophysical practice, which involves hydrographic sounding, use of sub-bottom profilers.
So all those ones are practicing from the surveyor.
Yeah, they're practicing from
and it's been taken over now by some other professionals.
No, because it's our own legacy. We have the full growth of this world, the hunting surveys.
Okay.
They came and they were doing it. They are the progenitors, and we learned it from them. We have companies that of your Zenith Niger Group. They did geotechnicals. We have geotechnical observation, which means taking samples. We take samples of underground. We observe. We measure, because we know the location of everything. So we observe, we measure, we do geotechnical. We take samples of underground, subsurface materials. We don't do the laboratory analysis, but we take samples because we know where the samples are. We know the depth at which they are taken. We are the custodian of every measurement. Measurement cannot happen without a surveyor. An accurate measurement that leads to perfect decision making. You can't make a very good decisions without surveying. And in all these feeds, we are there. We are the forefront. We are the first people that get on ground, and we need to take the data immediately. Because if you get on ground and you don't take some data immediately, like geotechnical and geophysical data, you are going to have a situation where the ground might even be distorted. Yeah, so we are the ones that has this practice, and that's part of our legacy practice, which because of in Africa it's difficult. We are financially impoverished.
All right.
So it sort of affects us how we go about our profession. And what we are talking about now, and that's where we delve into corporate excellence, is to collaborate, work as a group, and acquire some of this technology and equipment, because they are quite expensive.
All right. So you mentioned one of the legacy, practices. Now, any other ones that we can still dwell on?
Yeah. So before we had
that is akin to the survey.
Yeah. Before we had remote sensing, we had photogrammetry, which is like flying and taking pictures. Now we have drones. Everybody can use drones.
Okay.
But we are the progenitor of photogrammetry, and photogrammetry is the foundation of all these drones and all these remote sensing satellite data that we see right now. So we use principle of photogrammetry to convert them to readable data for surveying and for decision making and for planning.
Okay. So how can surveyors leverage these new technologies? How can they do that? You just mentioned drones.
Yeah.
I know now we're in the era of artificial intelligence, right? Where does it come to play for the surveyor?
So we currently have a challenge, and I think it's a bit of an African thing as well, because the gown, we don't fund the gown. We don't do academic research. The universities, the polytechnics, and the research centers are starved of funds. So there's a bit of a challenge, and we are thinking of like, okay, let us collaborate, build center of excellence, where we can co-invest,
okay,
and have a place to train and get this technology into place. Because, for example,
all right,
a 20-ton CPT geotechnical equipment will cost you like close to $100,000. One single surveyor cannot afford that.
Definitely.
And then if you ask a university to go and buy the equipment, they will tell you, oh, we have physiology, we have geography. So we are looking at ourselves and say, okay, can we build center of excellence where we can collaborate, use this equipment, and form a sort of consortium,
okay,
and push this forward, and then we can dovetail it and bring it down to our fellow colleagues and the younger ones coming up.
All right. So let me bring in.
Yes. Another thing I need to add on the question you asked on this issue of making use of drone is a security challenge. In Nigeria today, we're not blaming the government. Before you can bring in a drone, you need to get approval from the National Security Advisor.
That's right.
And these are the instruments that we use daily to capture data by surveyors. I think the government needs to look into this aspect, whereby restriction of making use of drone. Yes, we know this the security implication, and we follow the rules. We know that areas that are no fly zone. We know how to go about it. We can surveyors can be exempted by giving concessions so that it will be easier for us to bring in this drone. And all the database of everybody using drones, bringing drones that are not of yours, will be captured. So you will know who is using what, at what time, and at where.
Okay.
So that in case of any security challenge, the government can come into.
I'm just about throwing this question to you, Surveyor Benjamin, that with the advent of these technologies, don't you think that somehow there will come a time when the function or perhaps the need for a surveyor might be relegated to the background?
No, not at all.
Because if every Tom, Dick, and Harry can lash on any of these facilities that you've mentioned,
let me tell you this. You know, there was a time, when we were celebrating the 90 years anniversary of NIS, who had been needed. Now we have to join online.
Right.
Surveying profession has been before 1934. NIS was founded 1934. The first surveyor, 001, the licensed surveyor, was Albert Macaulay. So if with all the advent of technology that have started, let's say in the early 60s up to the late 2000, did not put survey into oblivion, do you think any technology will come? The only thing that will happen is that surveyors does not have option than to continue to make sure that they upgrade and update themselves about new technology that comes into being. And see, let me be sincere with you. Surveyor Makwari just mentioned the cost of just one equipment now. If you are to acquire a drone now, do you know how much you have to pay in dollars for you to acquire the drone? And if you are not a surveyor, you don't have the background knowledge, you don't have the technical know-how, you go and fly a drone in a place that you are not supposed to fly. You just go out and you just discover that your drone is being shut down.
Let's get back to the subject again. Surveyor Mark Baderu, what does corporate excellence, what does it mean in the context of surveying?
We are like all professionals. The tendency to have an individual practice is very tempting, and it has been a challenge. So we are looking at sustainable practice that live beyond us. We are looking at companies that will be surveying for the next 100 years, and part of it is part of diving to corporate excellence is to form firms that are in partnership, in collaboration with each other. We come with a potpourri of skills and expertise, and then you form a firm, and then you can leave the legacy over to your children. But the most important thing to take into mind about having a corporate excellence is to practice with corporate integrity and governance. Corporate governance is alien in our governance is a challenge in our climb generally. So we are trying to, as a professional body, to inculcate the principle of governance, where you do your accounting, you file your taxes, you do the right thing at the right time, and then you have a sustainable practice that lives beyond you.
Okay. Yeah. So coming together, doing lots of collaborations together just to achieve some legacy projects is what we're looking at here.
Yes.
All right. So how can APPSN, NIS, what are you guys doing in that regard to come up with those kind of legacy practices that will be able to lead to the levels of corporate governance? Okay.
I thank APPSN Lagos. They have, I thank Surveyor Adams and his team and the chairman, Surveyor Laolu Afolabi. The APPSN Lagos is the premier branch of APPSN in Nigeria. They have the largest member, and they've taken this opportunity at this critical time to dwell on corporate governance, so that we can now start to reshape our thinking, format our minds, and start having a paradigm shift in our thoughts and processes and our activities. And I was happy when they told me that, look, whatever we've talked about at this conference, in the next 1 year, we'll see difference. We'll make we'll take active steps towards having a collaborative practice that is more economically robust. We can buy a bigger equipment, because let me make it here. You have an equipment of maybe 200 million naira. The company is not shutting down.
All right, definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so Mark, I'm going to hold you up a bit, because I know you are a man in between two worlds, right? You're a surveyor, you are an engineer as well.
Yes, thank you.
So, but Surveyor Adams, from what he said, what are you guys going to be doing, taking that forward?
Sincerely,
you are the vice chairman of APPSN.
Sincerely, we've been doing so many things in the past, and we need to give credit to whom credit should be given to. the women wing, the women in surveying.
Right.
For over some 6 years now, they've been going to secondary school to go and encourage a girl child, making them to understand what surveying is all about, that they can venture into surveying. That's one. The YSN is doing such too. They call it mapping the future, going to secondary school to make sure that before this student finish from secondary school, they know what surveying is and they can get into surveying. Another thing we're trying to do, because see, individually people think the money they make is for themselves, but they don't really understand the fact that coming together, bringing up synergy to do things. Let me tell you an experience.
Okay.
I have somebody in our profession who is a de facto in flying drones. Good. But this guy is good
In flying drones.
But the point is, at the point in time, this guy does not have a drone of his own.
So how does he get the drones?
Good. He now partner with those that has the money to buy the drones. He now act as a consultant for them.
Oh.
Whenever he wants to go and fly drone, he pick their drones, go and use it. Whenever they have job, he goes to go and do it for them. So they have an arrangement already, and they have a sharing formula.
Wow.
So the drone is not lying fallow. The owner is making money. The person that is using it
is making money. So,
and another thing again is in Lagos, we have a surveyor. He has been in this studio before, who happens to be the assistant secretary of NIS now, who is a third generation of a registered surveyor in his family.
Wow.
So it was deliberate. The father was a registered surveyor, the grandfather was a registered surveyor.
So they've been training them to fall in that line.
So he's having a boy of his own now who bear the same name that he wants him to come into
surveying too.
So such a family, no matter how much they invested in survey equipment, it will not be a waste.
All right, then Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Very, very technical discourse we're having this morning. But I can tell you, the minds that we have in the studios, they are great surveyors who are looking very, very positively in that direction. We're building the resilient surveyor, integrating legacy practices with innovation and corporate excellence. And I can tell you, Surveyor Adams Olugbenga Benjamin, who is the vice chairman of APPSN Lagos State Branch, is taking us to the classroom. But Surveyor Engineer Sheyi Mark Baderun, also here in the building, member Nigerian Institution of Surveyors, also member Nigerian Society of Engineers. He's wearing 2 caps this morning, but of course he's taking us to the classroom on how it all works. You can connect with us on 09153877127. That's 09153877127. And also you can reach out to us on 08099120777. 08099120777. All right, so Surveyor Mark Baderun, I'm just saying this now. You are in between 2 worlds, right?
Yeah.
So which is your first love?
I think, my first love is surveying.
Is it because you're on radio right now?
No. I studied surveying first. And I saw the a bit of need for me to study civil engineering to boost and enlarge my practice in the future. It was actually an interest. Yeah.
Wow.
So I took both words, and because most of the decisions civil engineer makes, 99% of the decision a civil engineer makes, he needs a surveyor.
Wow.
Yeah. He needs a surveyor to gather data for the highway, the dams, the roads, to take the geotechnical data from him, to tell him the positions. There is no way a civil engineer functions without a surveyor.
Yeah, but we've had engineers who will say, look, can't we do this? We can do this without them and go ahead with the project.
And that's my practice. That will be my practice.
Yeah,
that will be my practice. That will be my practice for a civil engineer to wear the cap of a surveyor. Everybody knows their limits. And working together in synergy, that's what makes us. That's why you have field projects. That's why we have, you saw the challenge on the Lagos Calabar.
Coastal
roads. If surveyors were the ones that were involved, probably if the surveyors were the ones, because the surveyors know the data, they can update. Fortunately, we have remote sensing. We can monitor what is happening as data is developing, as development is going along the corridor. We can tell you, this is where it's going, this is where it's going. I believe strongly that the engineers were trying to
do some short corners.
And fortunately for us, I have to say this, the president saw the need and brought the office of the Surveyor General to the presidency, so that he can have an holistic look, so that he's not under one minister that doesn't tell him this is happening, this is happening. Look, for example, the federal government is trying to geolocate projects.
Okay.
Now, because we have heard of budget padding, and you saw that some of our not so good legislators had tried to duplicate projects on the same place. But with the input of a surveyor, he can tell you this project has been done here
already.
Yeah, and the presidency have it. That's why the president, in his wisdom, has brought office of the Surveyor General directly to report to him.
Has that worked? Is it working?
Yeah, it's working. It has been approved. The president has done it. He has seen the importance of the surveyor.
So let's look at that now. If you're going to extend that to national development, I mean, we're talking of these legacy practices, we're talking of this innovation, we're talking about technology. How can we make that to benefit Nigeria as a country, Surveyor Adams?
See, sincerely, it's just a very simple thing. And if we want things to work, it will work. What we need, let me use this studio as an example. What we need is to have accurate data and have a database. Then we update this database per time. Look at what is happening here. This that is happening, it started from having acquired the location database. I can see, even irrespective of the fact that traffic is being monitored, you will see the coordinate of that point. The longitude, the latitude is there. The moment we can have this, you will discover that everybody goes to that database to go and get the information they need. So the function of they've made budget for this particular road, it was done, it wasn't done. That now brings us to the issue of having an as-built survey where surveyors is involved before the project, during the project, and after the project.
Okay, so that's very, very critical.
Very, very.
Talk to my listeners. When you say as-built survey, what are you talking about, so that they will understand?
Okay, like we said in the past program, as-built survey is carrying out a survey of an existing structure on a particular area to determine the kind of development that has happened, whether plus or minus. When the area was newly built, maybe they just built a house. 2 years after, there must have been an existing drainage that is functioning. That drainage must have an invert, the depth, that's a width. The road, whether it was an arch road where they were building, after they finish, whether it has been tarred, it has been paved. So we have
so talk to our listeners this month. You're saying, apart from the survey plan that one has for the land, one must have an as-built survey plan as well.
Oh, Mr. Victor, you still want to go back to this?
I want us to go back to that so that people will understand better.
Yes, one must have an as-built survey, and it's very, very critical, especially in an area that is prone to litigation. If you carry out a survey at a particular, and that was why I said earlier some years back on this studio that a survey plan must have an expiring date, minimum of 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
So remember, any survey plan that exists beyond 5 years
because
is expired.
All cities in Lagos are developing rapidly.
All right, a question here is popping in. This one says, do you think the older generation of surveyors are ready to accept innovation? Hakim is sending that one in. Hakim, thank you.
There is nothing like older generation of surveyors. A surveyor is always a surveyor. Take it or you leave it. It will get to a stage in your life, in your profession, that you don't go to site again. You have surveyors that are partner with you. You have principals in your office. You have those that are working with you. You have those that are on your pay salary. So the more you get this job, you make the money. And sincerely, let me please, clients prefer to deal with older surveyors
than the younger ones
because of the integrity.
Because
they know they will not cut corners, because they know they have a name to protect. That's why you see, you go to a court of law, you see son getting more brief at a very higher rate than even the younger lawyers because of experience.
All right, then this one says, good morning everyone. How can a surveyor remain relevant in a world where software is doing a lot of the work? Ebuka Okonkwo, right?
Okay.
Ebuka Okonkwo, thank you so much. All right, so
every profession has had software doing the work. Even the lawyers, we have legal drafting by software. But the fact is that the professional must upgrade himself, knows his onions, and fortunately, survey cannot be done by AI.
You mean it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's something AI cannot do.
Yes.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because
I'll come up with an AI generated.
Like I said, like I'm a civil engineer. Will you allow an AI? Have you gotten an AI to build your house?
What is it now?
Not right now. You have to get a robot.
You will sue for quackery.
Okay.
So you have to get a robot, yes, but we have not gotten there. So
all right. This one says Surveyor Adams and Sheyi. How can surveyors in Nigeria compete with their colleagues abroad? Thanks, Basi. He's sending this one in from Cement.
There is no competition in surveying profession. What happened in surveying profession is consistent learning and updates on every technology that comes that makes your job to be relevant and you as a surveyor to deliver better. We have surveyors that leaves Nigeria that goes to America and they are performing very, very well because the kind of training they've gone through here, the kind of technology they made there, the kind of atmosphere, it makes job easier. They look at them as genius because what takes them 2 hours to use their brain, their energy, their body to do, within 5 minutes they have software that will do it. So there's no competition in surveying. What happened in surveying is evolution from time to time and update of knowledge.
It's nice to have Surveyor Mark Padiro in the building, and that's because you are in between two worlds. So I'm going to ask you this question now, and that has to do with the projects that we have in Nigeria. So we're talking legacy projects, okay?
Yeah.
As we speak right now, there's an ambitious project by, is it First Bank Holdings, right?
Yeah.
Of building a very, very, I think it's a high-rise
building, yeah, in the Eco-Atlantic.
In the Eco-Atlantic.
Yeah.
That would span like, how many floors now? Is it about 50 stories or so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard so.
So, when we build those kind of projects, bridges, I have driven through some bridges.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you drive through bridges in Nigeria, you're in between the, what do you call it? There's always a space.
Yeah.
And
expansion joint.
Expansion joint, good.
Yeah.
You're driving Baga Bogo.
Yeah.
And you're wondering, why is this? Okay. But you get to some parts of the world, you're driving through a bridge, you cannot even hear one sound. And they also have expansion joints. So why is it like that?
So the first thing that happens is that those expansion joints have some rubbers that covers them. You saw that they put after they did the third mainland bridge, they had to put cameras there. So every time you have Bagabugo, the thing that is happening, there are some other bridges. It's not a peculiar thing to Nigeria. The bridges are not stable.
Okay.
They allow some little movement. But besides that, what happens in Bagabugo
yes.
that you heard is that most of those rubbers that at the expansion has been stolen. So when your tires enter, you hear Baga. Instead of it to just move.
Or perhaps it was missing from the contract.
No, it wasn't missing.
You sure?
Yeah, because initially you see that those things are there. You just see after 2 weeks somebody has gone to steal it.
Quite unfortunate. Let's begin to wind this gradually to the end this morning. So, can we really put forward legacy projects that will say, yes, surveyors, engineers, they had inputs in this, and this will stand the test of time?
Essentially, one of these legacy projects is the Coastal Road. And I'm not saying because of issue of pride. I am privileged to be the first surveyor that walked on this Coastal Road. Okay. That was during the time of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the governor of Lagos State.
Okay.
That was when we carried out the survey.
The survey for that Coastal Road.
And even this Coastal Road we're talking now, because of a lot of
have they started constructing it now?
Yeah. No, they've started construction. Okay. They've even finished some kilometers that you can drive through. So surveyors are involved. Look at when we carry out the survey. Look at when the project was started. The surveyors are involved day in, year in, year out. Every day, surveyor must be on site. Okay,
all right. We'll get to talk much more about these legacy projects and, of course, the roles that surveyors can bring on board, because there's a whole lot to learn in all of this. But as we gradually drift towards the end this morning, Surveyor Mark Paduro, what's the message? What should we be looking up to? And in future, how can we help surveyors to stay resilient and also contribute towards building a country with corporate excellence?
Okay. I think I thank the APPSN Lagos for being consistent on this program. This is one of the ways to get it done.
Okay.
The public are not well aware of what we can do. Recently, I saw an advert by Ikeja Electric for a GIS analyst, and they maybe ignorantly excluded the surveyor from the job. They now brought geographers, computer scientists, and I said, "Oh, these guys have shot themselves in the foot."
Wow.
Yeah, because so a surveyor would have given you a dual, because he's a GIS analyst by training,
right?
But he knows the data to put in. So, and is the one, whenever you have geographic data, geographic information, it is about location.
That's right.
The guy that knows the location
is
and places the location is the surveyor. And all the surveyors we have in Nigeria today are all GIS experts to an extent. Okay. They have learnt how to put the database together in school. So if you have a surveyor, he's a better person to do the GIS analyst work than any other person.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think I thank Lagos APPSN because
for this advocacy
because it's getting to people and people are learning what we can do.
All right.
And that's where to create resilience.
All right. So Benjamin, quickly, your parting thoughts on the program this morning?
Well, as I always pass across to Lagosians and everybody listening outside Lagos, please patronize a registered surveyor. Avoid giving your job to quacks. Don't waste your money. And in case you have patronized or you've given your job to any surveyor in Lagos or even outside Lagos and you are having issues, please do not hesitate to get across to APPSN. We'll help you to resolve it.
Where's your office located again?
Our office is within the building of Nigerian Institute of Surveyors on Asbifi Road, opposite Lagos Avenue House, by the passport office at Alausa, Ikeja.
All right, then. We'll leave it at that for now. It's nice having both of you in the studios. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Victor.
All right. So we've been able to trek that road armed with nothing else other than the vision to build a stronger society. And this morning we've reflected on how to build very resilient surveyors, integrating legacy practices with innovation and corporate excellence. Taking us to the classroom, Surveyor Adams Olugbenga Benjamin. He's a regular on this program. Of course, he's a voice for APPSN. And I can tell you, also joining for the first time, engineer Surveyor Sheyi Makwaderun, MNIS, and I can tell you he's done so much. Maximum shout out going out to Mike James, who has produced the program this morning. I say a big thank you to Okpayemi Shodunke, and of course our executive producer is Tayo Akonle. My name is Victor Oteri. I'm out. Still very much within. Bye.
You're gonna get much more. Here's my chair.